Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Knight of Cups. This is a card of giving and receiving love and affection, okay? This is your current station. This is where you are in your life right now. I feel like you are putting yourself out there. I feel like you've been vulnerable, you've been open, you've been very generous with your creativity, very generous with your love. I think that you're a very affectionate person. I think that you're kind of like giving somebody the benefit of the doubt, you know, and you're kind of saying like, look, I trust you enough to offer you this bowl of, you know, the crab curry, to kind of give my heart here, to show you who I really am, you know, kind of putting our heart out there and saying, this is me, yeah. And so you're taking an emotional risk, okay? And I think that you're hoping that it's going to be reciprocated, okay? You're somebody that has you've got a gift to give the world, you know? I think you're a very kind person, and I think that you like to make other people feel good and feel welcome. You're probably a very good gift giver, you know? I feel like you give, with the gift thing, I don't think you give other people the gift that you know they want. I feel like you give people the gift that you would want. You know what I mean? Like you find something that's kind of an expression of you, of your personality, of your spirit even, and you give that as a gift. Because maybe it's easy to like figure out what somebody wants and then you go buy it for them. I feel like you do something else. You give a gift from the heart, right? That is more you sharing something of yourself with the other person. Yeah. Let's put this card into a little bit of context and let's see what's going on for you in your life. We have a Knight of Pentacles. We have a 9 of Wands, a 6 of Wands, a 5 of Swords, a 3 of Pentacles. Okay. And I like that energy. We have a Queen of Cups. We have a 5 of Cups, a 9 of Cups, and a Princess. We've got a lot of water over here, isn't it? That's a lot of water. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. Whoops, we got some volunteers. We're going to set this mystery card over here with Tiny Bob Ross. We're not going to look at that happy little card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. Oh, wow. If you have a prediction for that card, put it in the comments at any time, okay? What we have here is, well, we have a little bit of a challenge, right, with the 7 of Wands. But we have success, abundance, and really a dream come true happiness, okay? So something in your life right now, and I believe it is related to our Knight of Cups, whatever it is that you're giving out there to the world, right? Whatever you got your heart, you're giving, you're putting it out there, right? You're taking that emotional risk. It's going to be challenging at first. There's going to be a blockage at first, there's going to be some kind of a roadblock or an obstacle, right? But after an initial period of difficulty, it's going to be, oh, so sweet, okay? It is going to really, it's going to start, you're going to be in the flow, okay? Things are going to work out there. Things are going to harmonize, okay? So we'll talk about these cards a little bit more, but first let's look around the room. Let's just take stock of what we have. First of all, I notice we don't have any majors here, okay? Because I think that there is there's no particular spiritual lesson that you're being sort of, that you're being advised to sort of learn right now. I feel like Spirit is saying, you got this. Spirit is the table. Spirit is acting as the support for all of these other cards right now. There's no particular spiritual lesson, or there's no particular knot of karma that you need to work out. Okay? We've got fire, and a little bit more fire. You got water, 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 water. It's all about the water today, yeah? A little bit of air. A little tiny bit of air. And then you've got your couple of earth cards, okay? So there's an abundance of water energy right now. It's love. It is absolutely love. It's purpose. It's pleasure. It is grace. It is abundance. Okay? It is a flood, a wealth of emotions. And I think there is a little bit of turbulence in those emotions. We got a 5 of cups, for starters. So there's a little bit of worry or doubt, or even like at first some initial disappointment. I think that something in your life right now, and it doesn't mean that it's romance, but it could be. Whatever you're like being vulnerable with right now. If maybe this is like a proposal at work, maybe this is like a friendship, maybe this is like your art, maybe this is your heart and your romance and your love, I feel at first there's going to be a challenge, and that's going to bring you some initial disappointment. But if you can persist through that challenge, things are going to open up in such an amazing way. This is your destiny card, and this is somebody who is just dancing in bliss. Not a care in the world, like hearing their own music, So this is really that's what wants to be written for you. This is the next phase is going to just really be, a dream come true. It really is the dream come true here. Okay. But the Knight of Pentacles is the blockage right now. This is the battle. This is what's in your way right now. And it's really your inability to see the future. In other words, you don't know how something's going to turn out. I feel like you're very prepared. Okay, and you've done all the preparation that you could, but you don't, it's like you're waiting to see like how things are going to play out. You can't see the future. Okay, so you're putting yourself out there. You're volunteering your heart, your love, your creativity, whatever that is, your essence, yourself, you're putting it out there. The difficulty, really, that blockage is that you don't know how it's going to work out. That you, it's almost like you're standing here, you're waiting to see how the world responds to you. Okay? So that's the challenge right now, is to persist even though you don't have a clear idea of the path in front of you. The challenge for you, the quest, the battle, the difficult thing in your life right now is for you to persist even when there is no clear road forward. Even when you can see the mountain, but perhaps you can't see the top of the mountain, right? If you look at this card, you can't see the summit. You can see the steep incline uphill, right? Maybe you can't exactly see the trail. Maybe there really is no trail, okay? So you're kind of looking at the situation in front of you. And I think that you've already put yourself out there, okay? Now it's just a matter of you summoning your inner strength and pushing forward, even though you can't see the road, you can't see the path that you're supposed to take. Even when you don't know exactly how something is going to turn out. Well, that's why this is an emotional risk, okay? You took this emotional risk, but now it's kind of like, now we have to walk the path. Yeah. And we have to try to overcome any obstacles. And I think the important part of the Knight of Pentacles is knowing what you want your future to look like. Okay, you understand kind of who you are, where you are, and what you're doing down the road. Okay? You know what you want, but you're not really sure how to get there or what obstacles you'll have to overcome to get there, to arrive at that destination, whatever that is for you. Okay? So the real obstacle here is to just set out on this journey and get going. To follow your heart, follow your passion, and to be emotionally vulnerable and to take that emotional risk and to just walk the path and see what happens, even though you can't exactly see the future or see the road. Okay? Now, under the surface, in the sort of hidden position, this is that inner strength that you need to summon right now. This is that fortitude. This is that inner fire. Okay? This is something your soul knows, even if you've forgotten, because see, we have a 5 of swords at the top, so we do have a little bit of doubt. We have a little bit of second guessing ourselves. You have to summon this inner fire, because again, we have this 7 of wands here. There's going to be an initial challenge. Okay? But overcoming that challenge by summoning your 9 of wands, which says regardless of the obstacle, you're going to push through. In a way, this is confidence. Okay? This is the confidence that it's not saying the road's going to be easy. Everything's going to go in my favor. I know it. I'm confident. No. Confidence is you going forward, and regardless of what happens, you know that you're going to be okay. Okay? Regardless of whatever obstacle is out there, whether you succeed or fail, you know that you're going to be okay. Yeah? That's the inner strength that you need right now. This is what Spirit's trying to summon from inside of you. This is something your soul knows. This is the soul position, okay, of the spread. This, even if you don't consciously believe this, this is here inside of you. Regardless of what the first obstacle is going to be, you're going to be okay. Okay? You have this inner fortitude. And this is being summoned by Spirit, by the path that you're embarking upon right now. This inner strength is what's needed. Yeah. In the background with the 6 of wands, this is a past victory. This is something that is, this is the chain. This is something that's still influencing you today. This is something from the past that's still weighing on you. It's an event from your recent past that is still lingering in your life. And this is a past victory. And what this card is Jupiter in Leo. So in a way, it's kind of saying, don't let your past success be any kind of a guide for your future performance. You know, just because you succeeded at something in the past doesn't mean that you're gonna succeed again. Doesn't mean that it's gonna be easy now. Well, I did it once. That means every time I do it now, it's gonna be easy, right? No. Prepare yourself for the challenge, because I think that if you let your, again, kind of the Jupiter in Leo, if you let your ego sort of get the best of you, then you're going to encounter this initial challenge and it's going to destroy you. Okay? So don't let your past victories give you a big head, you know, and make you think that that you can't be defeated. Yeah. At the same time, with the 5 of swords up here, this is literally the card of defeat. Okay? So it may be that you're summoning this inner strength, but you know that there is a chance that it's not going to work. Okay? So you're trying to prepare yourself for a disappointment. It's kind of like you're expecting the worst, you know, but you're hoping for the best. You're not letting your past, this win, okay? You're not letting it inflate your ego, but it is something that is motivating you, okay? Because this is still influencing your current position. So I think that if you didn't have this past victory, whatever this was, If you didn't have this, I don't know that you would really be willing to take this emotional risk right now. Because I think your doubt or the prospect of losing or being disappointed or being defeated would be too heavy that you wouldn't have any motivation or momentum to take this emotional risk. Okay? So you kind of need this past thing, whatever this is. This was yesterday's win. You're trying to compound the win. See, we have another 6 here, 6 of Pentacles. So I think that you're using the momentum of the past to continue to push you forward, but knowing that it's still a risk. Okay? And since this is an emotional risk, you know that you're possibly going to experience some heartbreak or some disappointment. Okay? But you're using this as the push to keep going. Yeah. So this is the recent past that is still influencing your present. Yeah. Now up above the surface here, this is that prospect of defeat. This is the worry. This is self-doubt. This is that kind of it could be a negative internal dialogue. With the 5 of Swords, you have to be careful that you don't end up talking yourself out of it before you even really get the ball rolling, you know. So I think you're somebody that is very aware of your thoughts, and I think that you do have a very rich internal dialogue. Some people don't have an internal dialogue. I recently learned that. Some people don't talk to themselves. Spirit's trying to highlight your self-talk and trying to tell you to be very aware of how you're talking to yourself. You want to be encouraging. You don't want to be delusional, though. You don't want to say that, oh, this is going to be easy, this is going to go my way, there's going to be no problems at all. I think that you need to be encouraging, but you need to be reasonable. But pay attention to how you're talking to yourself. And you know what we should do? Let's do a Language of Flowers affirmation card. The Mexican Marigold, renewal. Time to begin again, stronger, better. Okay? Time to begin again. So if this was the past win, this was a victory that you had recently, it's time to begin again. But I think what you're doing now is kind of like 1 octave higher, you know. I feel like it's you're challenging yourself a little bit more. It's not going to be the same exact situation. Okay, you're pushing past this a little bit. So there is still the risk of loss or defeat or disappointment. Okay. So the 5 of Swords is for you to remind yourself that you have the strength, okay? But this situation is a little bit more challenging than the last one, okay? So there is that increased risk of, maybe I'm not going to make it. Maybe it's not going to work out, okay? In the future position, 3 of Pentacles, this is the work. This is you literally moving forward on the path and using the force and strength of your muscles, to get further down the road. This is you putting in the work. And like I said, initially, there's going to be the 7 of Wands here. Initially, there's going to be this feeling like the odds are too great. There's going to be the feeling like there's too much resistance. Okay? Be prepared for there to be some difficulty at the very beginning. But then, I think things really open up, okay? The 3 of Pentacles becomes a 6 of Pentacles. It becomes a cooperative effort. You get into the zone, you start getting the success. You start getting the win, okay? But I think that's after some initial difficulty. And of course, we have all this good water energy on the path of the Serpent. Yeah. Your general energy is the Queen of Cups. I think you're a very you're a very sensitive person. I don't think that you don't expose yourself very readily. You know, you don't take emotional risks very much. I think that you're aware that you're a sensitive person, and that you would take the disappointment would really affect you. You know, I think that you're somebody who is a defeat, right? It would take you a long time to sort of get over it. Yeah. And so it's and maybe this is about romance. Maybe this is about you kind of taking a chance on somebody and really just kind of like letting them see who you are, showing them your true self. And it's a big risk, because you know that if they reject you, or if it doesn't work out, or if there's some sort of disappointment, that's going to linger a long time for you. See, the Queen of Cups takes a long time to process something like that. Yeah. And so, in a lot of ways, the Queen of Cups stays behind a veil, keeps themselves shrouded, because they're very sensitive, and so they have to really protect their energy. So I think you are generally very mysterious, you know. You don't let a lot of people really see the true version of yourself. But right now you are. Right now you're doing that either in a particular relationship or in a particular area of your life. You've decided to lift the veil and really show somebody who you are. And that's a big, big step for you. Okay? A big, big step for you. And I think it's important that you understand that Seven of Wands, showing that there's going to be some obstacle and some challenge at the beginning that may immediately look like disappointment. But do not run away when this Five of Cups appears. Okay? At first, it's not going to feel like there's harmony, right? There's the three. You're putting in the work, but it feels like there's a blockage. It's starting to feel like this is not what it was going to be. It kind of feel like you've lost and this isn't working out. There's already this disappointed feeling. Persist through it anyway. That's the nature of the Nine of Wands, that strength, and that Seven of Wands saying, don't give up. Okay? At first, it's going to feel like a disappointment or a heartbreak. Keep going, because that Six of Pentacles is going to break through. Okay? And so that, I think, is a really big message here. And whatever you're doing in life that feels emotionally vulnerable, emotionally risky, okay? The Nine of Cups is that bliss. That's the superabundance, but that's your fear, okay? The fear is that you're going to put yourself out there and that this is not going to materialize, okay? The fear is that, you're sort of, you're wishing and hoping for something that's just not possible. And if you start to entertain those fears too much, then that Five of Swords is going to really, it's kind of going to defeat all of this energy. It's going to drag it all down. Yeah. So the Nine of Cups here as the fear, the worry, and the concern, this is superabundance. Okay, this is the fear that, that this is not the right pursuit for you. Okay. So really it's kind of, it's very similar in this case to our Five of Cups. Okay. It's the fear of something that should be there. This is that bliss, that happiness, that just superabundance that should be there. Our worry is that it's not going to be there. Yeah. But look at the Destiny card. Yeah. The Princess of Cups, that is somebody who is living the dream. That's somebody who is just in such bliss that they're in ecstasy. They're in a reverie. It is a dream come true. Okay? They're living the fantasy life. And so I feel like this is really, this is going to be such just a blissful experience. All this water energy clustered over here. At first, it's going to be a little shaky and a little scary because it's maybe, it's going to take a minute to really to kind of kick off, But once it does, oh man, the 3, the 10 of Cups, it's going to be a celebration. And I think with the 10 of Cups too, it's going to be something that is sustained for the long term. It's going to be around for a long time. Okay? It's not a temporary thing. It's not a fleeting thing. It's something that's going to last. Okay? It's kind of, to me, it kind of feels like a happily ever after thing. It doesn't have to be family or romance, but it sure feels that way. You know, it feels like love to me. But this could be in business, right? It could be in creativity, art. It could be with friends. Okay? It could be, you know, your blood family. It could be romance. Yeah. But whatever you are taking the risk on, all right, with that, again, the emotional risk, it's going to be a long-term dream come true, happily ever after. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card. Can we get some confirmation? Please, can we get some more water energy or maybe even a 10 of Pentacles? If you have a prediction for this card, put it in the comments. Let's see. 4 of Wands. Yeah, completion. A welcome home. You know, it feels like this is again, this is a risk. This is an inspiration. This is a passion that is going to materialize. This is a 4. This is fire and earth. This is manifestation. Whatever you're taking this emotional risk on is going to manifest. You are creating something. You are building something. And the process is complete. Okay? And maybe this is the feeling like now you feel like your life is complete. Okay? This is the feeling like there's nothing more that you have to strive for, try to build, because you have now everything. Like this is, to me, this is the home. This is like welcome home. Yeah. Anyway, let's do an extended reading. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Libra on Mondays and Thursdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.